What the hell? Why? It scared him off. It's crazy. I'm Mason the Brock Henderson. This is Luke Cage, Season 1, Episode 7, Manifest. And this show just... wow. Okay. So, that was my reaction through most of the ending of this episode, so let's talk about it. This show has taken some serious chances I did not expect it to take. So first of all, we've got, Cottonmouth gets out. Like I said at the end of the last review, I was not certain what all of that talk between Misty and the captain meant. Like, it was very vague on whether or not she was saying, like, he was gonna get off because, Scarf was dirty, or she was saying, like, this is them trying to work something. I don't know what she was trying to say. But basically, in the end, Cottonmouth gets out because they don't have enough evidence to put him away. Because all the evidence is based off of Scarf's work, and he was a dirty cop, and now he's dead. So there's no real solid evidence, even though they should have an... Here's my biggest problem in all of this. They should have enough circumstantial evidence to lock him up and investigate further. I don't know a lot about law or police work or anything like that, but it feels like if he's a suspect, if you have enough evidence, like enough circumstantial evidence to put him away, you should be able to hold him and investigate further and make sure he's not running around and doing some of the stuff that he does in this episode. But they're just like, well, whatever. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just... It feels like it's just another reason for this story to continue how it's going. But pretty much he calls Luke in and says, I know you're Carl Lucas. I know that you escaped prison. And it was funny because once he learned his identity, I thought to myself, so what? Like, why does he care that anybody knows that he's Carl Lucas? I don't understand. And then he started talking about how he escaped from prison. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why I forgot about that up until that moment, but pretty much he's threatening to tell everybody who he is, and everybody, they'll try to arrest him. So, that's an interesting little turn that Cottonmouth threw in there. And then on top of that, you've also got Mariah getting kicked off of the council. So it's kind of like you've got those two things going on, and it all just culminates at the very end to this one moment. Because you've got Cottonmouth kind of doing his own thing. He told Luke Cage that he knows he's Carl Lucas. He's told him that he'll reveal everything unless he works for him, which Shades does not like. And then Shades goes and pays Mariah a visit right before she gets kicked off the council, and she was talking to I can't remember who this guy is, but apparently he wanted her seat for a long time now. And so he was talking to her and saying, let me have your seat and I'll work to continue on what you're trying to do. She's just like, no, you've been trying to get my seat forever, get out. Shades comes in, talks to her, and then she gets a call later on after the talk where they tell her she's off the council. So now she's pissed at Cottonmouth, who is just, doing his own thing. And they had a very interesting little thing going on where they were flashing back to Cottonmouth when he was younger. And, it showed Mama Mabel. It showed, I think it was Mama Mabel's husband's brother. So it was like, it was showing a bit of that and what was going on there. We got to see a bit of Mama Mabel herself. She was you kind of see where Cottonmouth got his insanity from, and we find out later Mariah's insanity comes from. She was a very despicable woman. Like, one of the first scenes they have, this guy, apparently she has this system going, and this guy was a part of their family, I guess, and was running drugs, like cocaine. and that goes against her rules. And so to sort of teach him a lesson, I don't know if he survived this lesson or not, but he was like pointing at her, just moving his arms around. She grabbed his arm, twisted his hand, cut off his finger, and I'm just like, holy shit, that was, damn, that's painful. And then has the guy's name is Pete. I think it's her husband's brother. Has him take him downstairs along with Cottonmouth to teach him a lesson. Like I said, not sure if that meant kill him or if it was just make sure he never does that again. So we have that flashback going on, and in the flashback we learn a bit more about what happened back then. Apparently, she was sort of providing protection for people, and one time Cottonmouth came home late, and she was like, "Where have you been?" And he says, "Well, I was with Uncle Pete," and apparently Pete was with this guy named Salvador, who I guess was an enemy of like Mabel and her late husband. And so she gets pissed about that, calls him in, says, you betrayed us, you betrayed our family, and so tells Cottonmouth, has him get a gun and tells him, you gotta kill him. We also find out that apparently Mariah was being touched inappropriately by Uncle Pete. So it's kind of like you got Mama, you got Cottonmouth who's just like shaking, does not want to shoot. You got Mama Mabel who is telling him, if you don't shoot, I'm going to have to hurt you. And you got Mariah telling him to shoot because of what he's done to her. And so Cottonmouth ends up shooting him and killing him. And so you got that little interesting backstory, and it kind of, I like that whenever they do that for a villain, because whenever they had that one episode of Daredevil in the first season where we saw Kingpin's backstory, it just helps you understand the villain so much more. Really, really well done. And this episode maybe not as well done as the Kingpin episode, but it's still kind of like you understand why Cottonmouth is the way he is. But then you also see Mariah acting a little bit like she's a bit crazy as well. You're just like, wait, but she hasn't seemed crazy at all. She just seemed like she's a bit more of the calm one. She's a bit more intelligent. She's a thinker. It was just very bizarre to see her in this light. And then all of a sudden she goes into the office, and there's a little bit of a yelling contest. This is when the shock starts to set in, because we have a moment where Cottonmouth is accusing her of being like very forward with their Uncle Pete and like pretty much asking him subtly without words to come on to her, like she actually wanted him to touch her, and she just freaks the hell out. First she grabs a bottle and hits him over the head with it, pushes him out the window of his office onto the dance floor down below. He's already cut up, and I'm like, holy crap, is he gonna be okay? Then she grabs some stand and just starts beating him to death with it. I'm just like, wait, what? Like, first of all, to have Mariah all of a sudden blow up like that was crazy. Just this character who stayed calm and collected through all of this stuff. She's a politician, so she knows how to stay calm and collected. To have her blow up like that was just insane and just caught me off guard. And then on top of that, she's killing who I thought was the main villain of the show. I'm just like, what is going on? Like, it was supposed to be Cottonmouth versus Luke Cage. Like, that was the thing going on. That was what I was looking forward to the most, was finally seeing Luke Cage take him down, and she just killed him. And I'm like, why? What? Why? It was crazy. And then on top of that, Shades walks in right as that is going down and says, see? You've got it. You've got that. You wanted this to happen. She's like, no, I didn't. Like, you could see she's finally coming down off of her insanity rage, and she's just like, oh crap, I just killed him. So it's kind of like, she's realizing that she just killed him, and Shades is realizing, holy crap, I can use this, and now that he's gone, now she can be the one that we use. And then on top of that, he's like, do you have any rubber gloves? She's like, yeah, we have some in the dish room. He's like, good, this will work. Look what Luke Cage just did to your brother. I'm like, oh shit. Like, as soon as he said that, I'm like, I know what's coming next. They're gonna frame him. And then what makes it even worse is that the very next scene, Luke Cage had gone to Domingo's place, which we finally got that gym scene that we saw in the previews where they're shooting and like bullets were flying everywhere, knocking punching bags off. He goes there and gets the guns, gives them to Misty, and as he's talking to her, she starts talking about Cottonmouth and how, like, he's pretty much being suspected already by the lady that comes in to review everything, the internal affairs lady. He's already kind of a suspect in her eyes because she's like, look at who's at the center of all of this. Of course, because it's not that Cottonmouth declared war against him. It's got to be that Luke Cage is the one actually doing all this stuff in her eyes. But what makes it worse is that she's got Misty possibly thinking, oh, maybe I just fell for him and I can't see it that way. So she goes to talk to Luke Cage. He gives her the guns, but she wants to know who he is because there's no information about him. And then on top of that, she wants to know everything that he knows about Cottonmouth. So she wants him to give her all the information, when she's like, I can't, because the system doesn't work, as we just saw. And she's just like, well, trust the system. He's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then on top of that, he throws in there at the end, he's like, I should kill Cottonmouth. I'm just like, yeah. Like, as soon as he said that, I'm just like, are you kidding me? Of course he had to say that right at the time whenever Mariah just killed Cottonmouth. Like, it sucks. But he does throw in, but I won't, because I want to see him suffer. I want to see him as everybody else goes on living, and he, has nothing. So I have no doubt that even though he said all of that after I should kill him, I have no doubt that Misty's just going to be like, oh, he said he should kill him. Like, that's all she's going to remember is, like, he just said he should kill him. So we have Misty getting the call, I'm guessing, that Cottonmouth is dead. But then, just when you think, oh, nothing else can go wrong, Luke is talking to Claire in the park, telling her his entire story as Carl Lucas, and then all of a sudden we see some guy looking through a scope, and I'm just like, wait. Why are they don't have the bullets yet, do they? And then it shows the guy about to shoot, it says, here's a Judas for you, or something like that. I'm like, Judas is the name of the bullet that is the one that they said could possibly penetrate Luke. I'm just like, what? And then they shoot, bullet goes through him, now he's bleeding, and then that's the end of the episode. Now, I do have to ask a question as far as the bullet goes, because, like I said, I thought they didn't have that yet. Like, it sounded like first Cottonmouth had to get the money to buy the bullets. Or it's either that, or he tells Diamondback to step in, and then he'll provide the bullets. But it feels like he did neither. It felt like he didn't really tell Diamondback to step in yet. It sounded like he was about to, but it sounded like he didn't get there yet. And he also didn't have the money to buy the bullets. So I'm wondering where this came from. How did Cottonmouth get his hands on it? Did I miss the scene where he did talk to Diamondback, or were they possibly saving that for later? I don't know. But that is my one question that I have is, where did the bullet come from? Did Cottonmouth do this? Did Diamondback do this? And if Diamondback did do it, it sounded like Shades was saying Diamondback wants Luke alive still, so why would he try to kill him? Come here. People at home want to see you. Come here. So those are all my questions, and those are my thoughts on this episode. He's really enjoying it as well. He thinks this show is amazing. And yeah, I mean, that's about it for this episode. I thought this was going to be my last episode for the night, and then I'm going to upload all the videos that I just did, but it's looking more and more likely that I'm going to watch the next one because of how this one ended. Hopefully that doesn't end on a note where I got to watch the next one. So we'll see what happens, but right now the show is really, it just got really good over the past 2 episodes, and I'm really interested to see what's going to happen next. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this episode. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Let me know what you like and didn't like about this episode. We can talk about it, discuss it. Leave a like and subscribe for future Luke Cage reviews. I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.